Call to order the July 2nd, 2025 Board of Aldermen meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have anybody in attendance who would like to give an invocation? Somebody? Okay. Okay, City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Whitteman,
Here.
Alderman Detweiler, Alderman Gittmeyer, Alderman Johnson, Alderman Nay, Alderman Waters, Alderman Wilson.
Present. All right. Okay, are there any questions on the consent agenda? A motion by Alderman Johnson to approve the consent agenda. Second. Second by Alderman Waters first, I think.
Sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Okay. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak in public comment?
Paul Burke.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Burke, and my wife and I are residents of Canvas Cove subdivision. And I rise this evening to speak on behalf of the one-year moratorium on high-density buildings being constructed in Dardenne Prairie. I didn't waste time. I had a good time when I was in college, and I actually gained enough credit hours to get a major in history among another degree. So I'm kind of an armchair historian. And I'd ask you all to think about our heritage here. You go back 42 years, 43 years when the village was first incorporated. Why was it incorporated? Because the residents in this area at that time did not want to be associated with O'Fallon, did not want to be associated with the type of development in Lake St. Louis, and they hadn't the vision of what's going on in Wentzville. Development at any cost, if that's their city policy, let it be. I don't think development at any cost is what the residents of Dardenne Prairie expressed over the past 24 to 18 months in this room to all of the officials. We were not listened to at that time, and that's unfortunate. But I think that there's a lot more attention to the issue around the development and the type of development we want. And I think this one-year moratorium is worthy of your consideration. I would encourage you to pass that, and please, I understand that you may be hearing differences of opinion, but I'd ask you to think, am I listening to a difference of opinion of a resident or a developer? Am I listening to somebody being critical who's an official in another city? Think about Dardenne Prairie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
Rich Linderman.
Good evening. My name is Rich Linderman. I live in Bainbridge, and I'm actually amazed that I'm hearing things in here. I mean, this is like novelty compared to what it had been. I'm here basically. I'm in favor of having a moratorium, probably longer than a year, but a year is a good start on high density housing. I can't tell you how many times I have left Bainbridge trying to making a left-hand turn onto Feisy and being stopped at the light for multiple times at Bryan Road and Feisy, which that never used to occur. And I think we've got enough people on the board now that are finally listening to their constituents, and I hope you do listen to us, and that we need to put common sense when we start building stuff. Every day I go by at Prairie Encore and it just irks the hell out of me when I see that they're building a building that they don't have adequate parking for. And that was approved by a past administration. So I think we've got more than enough density in here. I mean, we can't stop all development, don't want to stop all development, but have some common sense, listen to your constituents, minimize the amount of high density housing. Actually, I'd like to see it totally eliminated no more, but use some common sense, listen to your constituents. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Letterman.
Andy McKean.
My name is Andy McKeon. I live at 55 Spring Terrace Court in St. Charles, Missouri, and I'm the St. Charles County Chair for America 250. We had our first meeting back in March, and so I'm happy to hear that you're going to vote on a resolution today to support this. My hope is with everyone here, not just the aldermen and the mayor, but the people behind me, would participate. This is all inclusive. The idea is to celebrate and honor our country any way you want to do it, because every community is doing their own thing. We have a website, America 250 stcharlescounty.com, America 250 stcharlescounty.com. And on there it says events by city. So once this resolution hopefully is passed, we'll put it up on our website, and any activities that anyone does in the city here, if you email me, my email's on the back of the book that I gave everyone. My contact information, address, email, phone numbers on the back. I'm asking everyone here, since Friday is the 249th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, I hope you'll all spend time with people in your network, your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandparents, friends, coworkers, and read and go over and discuss the Declaration of Independence to remind us of the sacrifice of our founding fathers. They gave their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, and many of them died. My ancestor, Thomas McKeon, signed the Declaration of Independence from Delaware. So part of the reason I'm doing this is in his honor but President Trump is announcing this tomorrow. He's going to be at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. It'll be on television tomorrow night at 7:30. If you go to whitehouse.gov/America 250, go to whitehouse.gov, America 250, you'll see a whole bunch of videos, which are really great. I went through the whole website, and it talks about historical events, and I won't tell you about it because you can look at it yourself. But this is a We the People effort. They're having a national meeting of all the states. All 50 states are participating. They all have state commissions. They're having a meeting in the end of July in DC, and it's a whole year event. So it's not just for July 4th, 2026. We like events year round. So I guess that's about it. Thank you very much. And I hope you support this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. McKeon.
Arnie Dienoff.
Might get less feedback.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Board of Aldermen. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dienoff, County Public Advocate. First of all, mowing came up on private properties, and you have a ordinance that states that you have to cut your grass. I believe it's less than 8 inches. And so to attack that or to enforce that, you need to send a notice to the last taxable billable address by state law and under a 4th-class city. And you also can post a notice on the actual property. And after a certain period of time, I believe it's 10 days, if it is not rectified or addressed, then the public hearing shall be held before Jeff, the code and building code official. And if nobody shows up to that meeting, then the city can cut the property on your own accord, and you can effectuate those charges by filing a lien against the property with the St. Charles County Recorder of Deeds. And you also can issue citations in municipal court to enforce that they meet your mowing of the property. If it's undeveloped, I know other adjoining property or other adjoining municipalities have an ordinance that says you have to cut at least 15 foot around the property along all public streets. And so I would encourage you to address it with your current ordinances that you already have and the use of Jeff here. When it comes to county roadways and street maintenance, street sweeping, sidewalk repair, potholes, resurfacing, bridge replacements, I would really like to see the consortium because the mechanism is already in effect with the county serving the small municipalities of the county. I would encourage the city, if you're not happy with the services, to set up a meeting with John Lyons, the county engineer and director of county highways, Chris Bostic, the deputy director of county highways, Carl Nolte, director of operations, Theodore Dunkman, who is also the superintendent, and Nathan Tormala, who's the manager of a lot of these services. I'd like to see you come to some type of consortium and try to save money. If you're going to go out and get bids, it's going to cost you a whole heck of a lot more money in terms of that bid mechanism. If you're not happy and you can't come to some type of resolution with the county, I would encourage the city to establish a consortium of small municipalities in an intergovernmental agreement or an intergovernmental entity. So the small cities would be Darden Prairie, Cottleville, Forestell, Flint Hill, Josephsville, Weldon Spring Heights, Augusta, New Melly. I know Augusta came to the road board last week and made a presentation. They're having a lot of maintenance issues. They pay for that on their own accord right now, but they're a small village and they can't afford even the basic potholes and to replace certain segments of their roadway. And finally, if you just give me a little bit of time here, Mr. Mayor, the traffic issue of Weldon Spring Road and Technology Road, Crushing Drive.
Arnie, wrap it up, please.
Okay.
Gotta be fair to everybody, you know that.
Okay, I've got some vital information to give to you. If somebody on the board can make a motion to allow me to speak another minute and a half to get some more information.
Rule the rules for everybody, Arnie.
This is really good to the community. Then I'll sit down and,
Can you please bring it to the board after the meeting, please?
but this is good for the board. So I tried raising my hand at the workshop. Nobody saw me, so.
Okay, sorry about that. We'll try to get better next time. Thank you, Arnie.
Gary Plamp.
Me. My name's Gary Plamp. I'm with, I live at Wyndham Meadows. First of all, I want to tell you all I saw Jurassic World today. It's a good movie. I'd encourage you to take it in. Now I want to do this. Let's have a moment of silence. Not my 3 minutes, but for Darden Prairie. Because in my mind, I think Darden Prairie is dying. It's dead. I've only been here 8 years, but I've seen enormous changes and a lot of changes I really don't like. I think I spoke to the other board. What's the other board? Are you Todd? Todd, anyway. The zoning board. Talk to them, yeah. And I said the two words that bother me is commercial and high density. High density is 2 words. It's been my experience that those are no-nos when it comes, especially in a small area like that. It's already getting rough to get around our streets, around Wyndham Meadows, around, up on the corner, Feisy, and it's just getting bad. I understand that as long as I'm talking up here, we have a new city engineer now. Going to be going around to all our retention ponds. Well, we got a little algae on ours, but we're keeping up with it. But take a few steps to the east and run into that pond, that detention pond at the Prairie Project. That's a joke. It's like a climatron in there. And the weeds are just getting out of control. So it's things like this. I mean, you're developing, and I understand the need for development. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're doing more things. We're putting things up, and we don't have the infrastructure to take care of those things. The high rises, things like that. It's going to be a problem. I think I told the P&Z committee that we're going to have to beef up the police department because with high rise apartment living, that breeds more crime than homeowners
renters. I don't have anything against renters. I rented years ago, a long time ago. But there may not be quite as responsible as a homeowner when it comes to taking care of things. And again, just the overall high density of the whole area, small area where Darden Prairie is, it's just very bothersome to me. So I'd like you to think about that moratorium very hard. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gregory Johnson.
Good evening. Thank you for the time. I'm also here to speak about the moratorium. And I'll try not to repeat what everybody said. So the one thing I think you should listen to is that what I hear is overwhelming support for moratorium. Not that development's bad, but the development at all cost and high density for money isn't working. If you look at the high density, if you look at the open storefronts, it's not a working solution. It's not helping the city. It's not helping the character. Someone said they've been here 12 years. Gary did. I realize I've been here for 25 years now. And he's right. It's changed. There was a character, the reason people moved out here, or the character for the single family homes, or the feel of that. It's going away. In doing that, you're overstressing the infrastructure. You're definitely overstressing the schools. The traffic is horrendous. And as we were here earlier, a number of us from Window Meadows, on a development on the other side of us, because we're one of the ones that have witnessed the devastation it did to our home values because of the poorly planned, poorly executed, high density development there. As you stand, they don't maintain it correctly. They didn't do the water drainage correctly. They're looking at solutions for the problems they have now. It's not that you shouldn't do development. Long term, yeah, but let's go back and use the moratorium as a time to say what makes sense for Darden Prairie, what's in the best interest, what grows the values. Because at the end of the day, I hear all your constituents saying, stop, go back, look, not stop forever. Now, a lot of us say we've got enough high density. We really think that. But go back and rethink it. The plan we have now isn't working. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
That was the last speaker.
Okay. All right. At the conclusion of public comment, we'll move into new business. All right. First up is resolution number 395. This is a resolution, so it is not anything that would be required one reading per meeting. I think we could potentially do, but 2 readings here if the board would allow it. So we'll look to, go ahead, City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, we just need 1 reading for the resolution.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
1 reading. All right. Okay. Well, that being said, may I have a motion to read resolution number 395? So moved by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Gittmeyer. City Attorney, could you please read resolution number 395 by title only?
Is there a resolution of the City of Darden Prairie, Missouri, supporting the commemoration and celebration of the 250th anniversary of American independence on July 4th, 2026?
Any discussion around this? Yeah, so the question was, we're creating our own events here. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks.
wanna make sure.
Yep. Alderman Wilson, thank you. Yeah, we are planning our for the 250th anniversary. We did discuss it briefly in the work session. So we'll quickly touch base on it now and also a little bit in my commentary later. We do intend to have events for the 250th in Darden Prairie. We've already begun planning with that. We're in the process of reaching out to some of our community partners, as well as the community. And also we've just recently asked the board for their input as well on ways to make this special event even more special. Additionally, as part of this, we're going to look for a partnership with the 250 St. Charles Committee and Mr. McKeon to cooperate and collaborate with him as he leads the efforts in St. Charles County. But that's kind of, we're going to do a little bit of both. So.
And my last question, do we need to put money towards this, or do we need to wait, or do we come back to it? Just a question for the board, so we know.
Well, for resolution right now, we're just resolving to work together.
Okay.
So there's no, it's just getting kicked off but we'll continue to engage and we'll keep everybody informed and look forward to your support as well and
Okay.
everybody else's. So, that being said, we need to vote on this, correct? Okay. So entertain a motion for, should be roll call? Okay, that's,
We just,
motion for roll call vote by Alderman Johnson,
I second.
second by Alderman Detweiler.
Just to clarify, this is to approve the resolution.
To approve. Yeah.
Alderman Wilson, Alderman Detweiler, Alderman Waters, Alderman Gettemeyer, Alderman Johnson, Alderman Nay.
Aye.
All right, resolution 395 is passed. All right, so next, we don't have anything else in new business. So at this part, we'll go to the old business. And for those in the audience that may not have been here before, I talked to a couple of folks that maybe their first time. And there's the old business that we cut, the new business, which we've covered. And then in certain cases, we also go back because we'll do 2 readings per Robert's rules, which is what we follow here. So we'll move to the old business. And the first item in old business is Bill 2025. So can I and it's been postponed from the April 16th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to read Bill 2520 for a second time by title only.
This will be a motion for first reading.
This is the first reading? We postponed it?
Yeah, it's old business, but I think go ahead. It's old business, but I don't think we actually read it for the first time.
Motion to read Bill 2520 for the first time by title only.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, seconded by
Second, Laura.
Alderman Gettemeyer.
You know what, it'd be helpful, because I was talking to some residents out in guys, and they were wondering what this was about.
Yeah, do we want to, so we have a motion and a second at this point, right?
Right.
So we want to have the dialogue, we have to vote on it now. Right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we have to vote on it at this point, but it's the first reading, so we can have dialogue after that.
Okay.
So, okay, all right, so city attorney, please read Bill 2520.
You have to say, did we get it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Zucker. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? City attorney, can you please read Bill 2520?
An ordinance of the city of Dardenne Prairie, Missouri, amending Schedule 3 of Title 3 of the Municipal Code and prohibiting parking, stopping, or standing for the purpose of dropping off or picking up school children on expedition court within the city.
All right, thank you, city attorney. So back to the discussion at this point. So Alderman Detweiler has brought this up initially as part of something she's observed near her subdivision, and she has some comments I'd like to share.
Yes, at the edge of Lewis and Clark subdivision, we have Osmond Elementary. And we have an issue with parents who don't want to abide by the school's rules to get in line to drop off their child or to pick up their child at the end of the day. And so we had to put signage along Meriwether Lewis that has the same reading on it, because they were just parking their cars there and allowing children to get out of the car and walk up to the school. And Meriwether Lewis, is 2 lanes. So if we have people parking here and we have people parking here and kids going here and kids going here, it got to be where the resource officer was out there directing traffic and making sure children were safe rather than being up at the school. So then they began to park in the court just across from Osmond Elementary. They would pull in there and they were blocking driveways and letting the kids out, and the kids would walk across the street. So, and again, the resource officer had to be out there to help them cross the street. So we worked with the school and they sent notes out, and nothing ever really got accomplished. Some parents paid attention, some parents just did not. So I met with the Transportation Department of Port Zumwalt. I met with the superintendent, the assistant superintendent was in attendance, and then also the principal at Osman and the resource officer. And other, one of the parents wanted a crosswalk put in. Well, the crosswalk goes to nowhere other than her front yard. So it seems silly to do that. So if we don't have any parking, which we have an ordinance that says you should not be parking within so many feet of a school, then we need to have that ordinance abided by. And in order to do that, we have to put signs up so that if these people continue to do it, the police can go up there and either make the move or ticket them. So that's what this is about. It's the finishing of putting up, it's only a couple signs in Expedition Court. And I feel like this is going to be another issue we're going to have up here when they put in the villas, because it's right there by that elementary school too. So anyway, that's the background for this. And I hope the board will understand that the need for it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I know we've talked about this before in a couple different meetings before. Today is obviously it was postponed from April 16th. So we've had quite a bit of discussion on this board, just so the everybody's aware on that. So I would ask that we'd ask the board, are we going to continue to follow the stand for this and postpone, and or do we want a second vote? And is there any reason that we need to do a second vote tonight for this?
That's the only reason we want it brought back, is so we have time to get that done before school.
Okay. All right. Barring any other discussion or comments on this, we will. And there is no need to make a motion for postponement because of the standard for that. So we'll move on to the next item, which is Bill 2532. I'd like to entertain a motion to read Bill 2532, well, for the second and final time by title only.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Gettemeyer, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. City Attorney, please read Bill 2532 for the second time by title only.
An ordinance of the city of Dayton Prairie, Missouri, imposing a temporary moratorium on the development of certain property during the pendency of a study of review of regulations and standards for development of such properties and other matters relating thereto.
Okay. Would anybody on the board like to make any comments before we move forward with this?
Move for a roll call vote.
Motion for a roll call vote by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Oh, just delayed. Okay. None heard. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Waters,
Aye.
Alderman Gettemeyer, Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Nay,
Aye.
Alderman Detweiler. Ordinance 2370.
All right. Bill 2532 is ordinance 2370 is passed. All right. Well, that concludes old business. So next is we're going to go to officer and staff communications. So we'll start with the city attorney.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
All right. City engineer,
I have nothing as well, Mr. Mayor.
city administrator, do you have anything?
Nothing further.
Alderman.
Yes, I'd like to bring up that we have a couple of new businesses open. We got Sugar Shack that just opened. It's at the end of Pub and Grub in the same building right there. It's a real nice ice cream store with candy in it. My granddaughter loved it. We also today we had the grand opening for the butcher shop that is right there below the apartments across from Blue Sky, right there. It's a local beef that is grown here in Missouri that they serve there. So it's all fresh stuff. So I'd encourage you to go by and visit each one of the stores. Thank you.
Thank you for the PSA. No, real quick, since we're doing PSAs, Darting Prairie is having their back to school fair July 31st. Hope you bring out your grandkids and your kids out to check out what we have for you for Darting Prairie. That's all.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Alderman Nay, anything else?
Nope, thanks.
Okay. Okay, and that leaves it to me. So tonight, I'm going to do something a little bit new, at least, for me. This next week, I'm approaching 90 days in my term here as mayor. And one of the things that I want to do is to try to bring about a new standard and to help increase transparency and what's going on in the city from the desk of the mayor, so to speak. So I have some prepared remarks I'm going to read, and I'm going to do this every quarter. And at the same time, it's going to kind of just let you guys know what's going on, and we'll also post it to the website and different things like that. So as I mark my first 90 days as mayor of Darden Prairie, I want to take a moment to reflect on the progress we've made and thank those who've helped us get here. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to the Board of Aldermen for their continued support, to the City Administrator Kathy for steady leadership, and to our hardworking city staff who keep the city running every single day. The teamwork and professionalism across our organization has been outstanding. And I really do just sincerely thank the board. It's a really great board. I'm really happy to be working with you all, and very exciting that we have this team that we put together, that the city has helped put together with. So over the past 3 months, we've taken some important steps. The first of which is that we've enacted a moratorium, temporary moratorium on new multifamily housing that gives us time to assess long-term impacts on traffic, schools, and infrastructure, while making sure our future growth aligns with the values of our residents. We also stabilized city leadership. I was proud to recommend Ms. Kathy Pratt for a permanent appointment as city administrator, and I'm very grateful for the board's unanimous approval for that recommendation. Kathy's 3 decades of experience in city government have already made a very meaningful difference in how our city runs and operates. We're moving forward on IT modernization as well. With the board's full support, we've begun hiring our first full-time IT manager. This role will help us transition to cloud-based systems, reduce our reliance on paper, and streamline operations across City Hall. Once that position is filled, we'll begin a thorough review of our internal workflows as well to see where we can continue to make things more efficient and responsive. And notably, as many of those who were commenting, we've fixed the audio visual in the boardroom here, so it's a little bit clearer. We'll continue to polish it up and try to make it not so squeaky for some of the folks. Transparency has been and will continue to be a top priority. In recent months, it became clear that our Sunshine Law response process was in need of serious reform. The city had previously relied on an honor system when fulfilling records requests, but in 2 recent cases, elected officials failed to submit all required documents, which understandably undermined public trust. We are now moving to a standardized IT-supported records management system that will ensure timely, consistent, and accurate responses moving forward. We're also working to build stronger partnerships, not just with local businesses, but with academic institutions as well. In recent weeks, we've started engaging with area colleges and universities to create internship opportunities at City Hall. This will give students valuable experience in public service while helping strengthening our local talent pipeline. And finally, Darden Prairie has joined the America 250, the St. Charles County Initiative, to help celebrate the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding in 2026. Planning is underway, and we're inviting residents, civic organizations, and local groups to partner with us in making this a celebration that reflects the spirit and history of our community. These efforts mark the beginning of a new chapter for our city, and tonight I'm establishing a new standard, which I just spoke about, which is this update is the first of a series of quarterly reports from the mayor's desk. It's one more way that we're committed to transparency and keeping everybody, our residents, and you all informed. Thank you again to the board, to Kathy, and our city staff. It's been a productive 90 days, and I look forward to what we'll accomplish together in the months ahead. Thank you so much. So with that, we will conclude our July 2nd Board of Aldermen meeting. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We have a St. Charles County police officer somewhere in the hallway keeping us safe. I usually thank them as well. I don't know if you can hear us out there, but thank you for being here. Yep, there he is. All right. I hope everybody has a happy 4th of July and celebrates accordingly, stay safe, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next meeting. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn? Moved by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Goodemeier. Meeting's adjourned. Oh, well, it's all in favor? No, the meeting's adjourned.